Hey, what's going on, Guardians? My name is the Black Link, and with the completion of the Deep Stone Crypt raid, we officially had the unveiling of the Lament exotic sword quest in Destiny 2 Beyond Light. That's right, if you log into the game right now, this quest is ready and available for pickup from Banshee in the Tower. And while the raid itself may have been long and arduous, the quest to get the Lament itself is not, and we've got some great tips to help you get it done even faster. Let's go ahead and dive on in. First things first, jump to the tower, speak to Banshee, pick up this quest. The very first step is going to task you with finding 3 dead Exos on Europa. You've probably heard quite a bit about this if you've been paying any attention to some of the hidden secrets of Beyond Light, but there are a total of 9 dead Exo bodies scattered across the landscape of Europa, and you'll need to scan 3 of them for the purposes of this quest. And so we're going to show you where to very quickly find 3 to scan. We've also got a video covering the location of all 9 of these Exo bodies. If you'd like to see the rest of that, they have lore tied to them. You get to hear these great audio logs from basically the pre-collapse era of Destiny. There's just some really interesting lore bits in there about Clovis Bray and all that kind of stuff. We'll have a link to a video showing where you can find all 9 of those dead Exos down in the description box below. Make sure you go check it out. But anyways, first things first, head over to the Cadmus Ridge. As soon as you spawn into this zone, if you head over on the left side, there's a short cliff there. If you jump on top of it, you'll find the first of our dead Exos. Go ahead and scan her, and we'll get on to the next one. After that, head directly in front of you over to the Perdition Lost Sector. You're going to be spending a lot of time in here over the course of this quest. Make your way through the Lost Sector, defeat the boss at the end, and once you've got everything cleared out, you'll find another dead Exo in the back left of the room. Go ahead and scan him up, and we'll move on to the last one for this guide. If you warp back to the area with Varix, you can make your way over to the Asterian Abyss. Once you're here, follow the path that we're taking on the video. It's going to take you down towards the area where you generally have to go for the Glassway Strike. If you make your way to the right of the entrance of that area, you'll find another dead Exo frame next to a hill. Go ahead and scan him up, and we'll move on to the next step. Next, you're going to be tasked with meeting a giant Exo frame in a hidden Exo facility. This can be found in the Braytech Exoscience area. So make your way back to the Cadmus Ridge area and over into the Bray Exoscience Zone. This is generally the path you have to take when you're doing some of the Empire hunts, like the one to go in and take down Phylax. Except this time, when you head into the main Bray Exoscience area, take a right instead of a left. There will be a new path opened up for you to explore. Make your way all the way through it. It goes for quite a bit, and you'll come face to face with the giant Exo head of Clovis Bray himself. Now, the old AI is none too pleased to see you, but promises to help you nonetheless. After speaking with him, he'll task you with getting 100 Vex kills with swords, and defeating 20 Minotaurs, Hydras, or Cyclopses. Now, the first part of this says you have to do it on Europa, so you basically know what that means. Head right back to the Perdition Lost Sector. You can basically do 2 runs of this and get the 100 Vex kills done. There's even some Minotaurs and a Hydra in there for you. Well, except for the fact that for whatever reason, it seems like Major and Ultra level Vex, at least at the time of this recording, aren't properly counting towards the Minotaur, Hydra, and Cyclops kills here. The red bar Minotaurs will absolutely count, but I didn't get any points for killing the Hydra. But anyways, go ahead and run through this a couple of times to get your 100 Vex sword kills, and you can keep running it multiple times until you get enough Minotaur kills as well. Or if you're a little less patient like your boy TBL, I've got a great other spot for you to go and farm Minotaurs up even faster. You see, while the quest does say that you need to get these kills on Europa, at least from the Minotaur part, that isn't exactly true. If you load up Nessus and go into the Exodus Crash Zone, you can follow the path that I'm taking here over towards the Chamber of Sky. When you get to this general area, generally a Minotaur will always be spawned in here, so you can take him out, make sure you take out all the goblins and hobgoblins that are around him or else they won't respawn. Then jump into the nearby portal, hop on a sparrow, and make your way into the loading zone for the Chamber of Sky. Once you've hit that loading zone, turn right back around, head right back where you came, jump through that portal, and all of those Vex, including the Minotaur, will have respawned. So you can just do this over and over and over again. I was able to get the 20 Minotaur kills that I needed here really in just a couple of minutes. So if you're feeling a little impatient with this step, this is a really fast way to get it done. And generally the only thing that can screw it up is other people in your loading zone either trying to do the same thing that you're doing or just being obnoxious and killing minotaurs. Either way, this step shouldn't take you too long. Once you finish killing those minotaurs, the quest will update requiring you to complete an Exo challenge. Now, Exo challenges are a new activity from Clovis Bray himself that unlocked after the completion of the Deep Stone Crypt raid. These are basically like virtual simulations where he's testing your survival skills. There's actually a story quest available now that is going to introduce you to this new activity from Clovis. In order to get to it, you need to head back to the Bray Exoscience area like you're going back to meet Clovis Bray's gigantic head, and you'll see the icon there to start up the Exo challenge. The first one of these is actually really interesting. It incorporates a mechanic from the raid where you're basically stuck out in really harsh weather. It's essentially a really long jumping puzzle where you're making your way from fiery vigil to fiery vigil while trying to survive the storm. You need to make your way to these fiery vigils in order to warm yourself up, and whenever you're outside of their range, you'll get a stacking debuff titled Biting Cold. If this stacks up too high, you die and fail the challenge. And so you'll need to make sure you get to the fire pits to break off this debuff. You can also break the debuff by killing nearby Vex, who will drop an item for you to pick up that gets rid of it as well. Anyways, make your way through the challenge, get to the top, and take down a Vex boss in order to complete the Exo challenge, also rewarding you with some powerful gear if you haven't done it already. Once this is complete, the quest will update and Clovis will give you your next objective, defeating Vex with finishers. Yeah, you know what this means. Right back into the Perdition Lost Sector we go. There are plenty of Vex in here if you just, take your time, don't kill them with gunshots, just get them weak enough to finish them. 2 runs of this Lost Sector will get this step done. The lower level red bar enemies, stuff like goblins and hobgoblins, tend to get you between 1 to 2% progress, while the major level minotaurs will get you a bit more. But again, I was able to get this step done in 2 runs of this Lost Sector, so it shouldn't take you much time at all. Once that's done, your next step will be to collect pieces of the Lament blade in the Glassway Strike. So go ahead and load up that strike. There's nothing really too special about it. Make your way through until you find some Vex, of course, at the very end of the strike. And once really around the first ad wave spawns, you should see a Transcendent Harpy spawn as well. This will be a new ultra level enemy. Take it out and you will collect the blade piece we're looking for. After this is done, head back to the tower and speak with Banshee44, who will inspect the blade pieces and then send you looking for a lost bunker in the Eventide ruins. Well, there's only one bunker I know of in the ruins themselves back on Europa, and it's the Lost Sector, Bunker E15. Load back into Europa, make your way through that Lost Sector, and upon defeating the boss and opening the chest, you'll receive the blueprints for the Lament itself, as well as an emergency transmission from Clovis. Apparently, the Vex don't appreciate the pranks he's been pulling on him and are now breaking into the Bray Exoscience area. Make your way outside of the Lost Sector and there will be a new quest for you to pick up. This quest is going to have you fighting your way back to Clovis Bray, going through waves and waves of Vex along the way. Make your way through the quest, forge the exotic sword, and then wield it against your enemies to save Clovis Bray. Doing so will of course reward you with the Lament exotic sword. But we're not quite done here yet, don't worry, we'll be revisiting this footage in just a sec. Once you've completed the quest, a thankful Clovis Bray will bequeath the sword to you and then send you back to Banshee with the special mission of helping him remember a few things. Head back to the tower, speak to Banshee, and congratulations, you will have fully completed the Lament exotic questline. Congratulations, Guardian, you got yourself a real monster of a weapon this time. Let's go ahead and take a look at her. The Lament exotic solar damage sword comes with the special ability Banshee's Wail. You can hold your block button to rev the blade. Revving the blade increases damage, allows for shield bypass, and adds a shield piercing ability to all attacks. You'll also gain stacks when dealing damage with revved attacks. Additional stacks will increase the damage and damage resistance of heavy attacks. Meaning this is a weapon where you guard, it revs the sword up, that gives you all kinds of buffs, both defensive buffs and offensive buffs, and then you can stack those buffs even higher by using your newly revved sword to take down enemies. This pairs up with the exotic trait, Revved Consumption, where damaging a combatant heals the wielder. That's right. All damage you do with a Lament heals you back for a percentage of the damage done, basically taking the Warlock Devour ability and shoving it onto a ridiculously powerful heavy weapon. This thing is fantastic. And once you figure out exactly how it works, this thing is going to be a monstrously powerful weapon in tons of different bits of content. And I say figure out how it works because it is a little bit on the odd side. The Lament does massive amounts of damage, especially once you rev up that blade, but it can be a little bit tricky to figure out how it works. Essentially, you just want to hold that shield button, which immediately starts revving the blade. You don't really need to hold it that long. Generally, once you've seen the kind of fiery shield around yourself, it means the blade is revved and you can start doing attacks. But the way it works is you need to attack constantly in order to get the benefits of the revved blade. If you swing once and then walk around and try to swing again, you lose that benefit and you'll have to re-rev the sword. Meaning you want to charge it up and then immediately go into a combo against a strong enemy. And you'll know you're doing it right when you start seeing critical damage pop up on these enemies. And the effect is pretty darn noticeable. It also creates a new sword combo for you that ends in that new swinging heavy attack, which does massive amounts of damage, especially if you've landed some combo hits beforehand to build up stacks of Banshee's Wail. Now, additionally, the empowered revved up swings also seem to eat away at your sword energy, the block energy. And once that runs out, you won't be able to rev up anymore. And so you'll have to basically take some time out to go and let that charge back up. It's kind of a built-in cooldown for the bonus damage you're getting off of this weapon. So if you keep trying to rev it and you're noticing you're not getting the critical hits, well, you gotta wait for that energy bar to go right back up. Like I said, it seems to be kind of a built-in way that Bungie put in to prevent you from having ridiculous amounts of bonus damage all the time with this sword. You're going to have to take some time to cool off and cool down before you jump back into the mix. But once you understand how this thing works, you get that thing revved up and you launch yourself at a boss, you are going to be erasing them in seconds and then laughing away any damage they do to you in the meantime. The mixture of critical hit damage with a new super powerful combination. You do maybe 2 light attacks and then 1 heavy attack to get that new swing in there. You do so much damage and you can just heal off so much damage. It's really a fun weapon and it's exactly what I would want out of a massively powerful close range weapon like this. You get that great block with the, while you're revving up with the flame shield. You can build up those stacks to get further damage resistance and better damage on your attacks. And you can heal yourself with the damage you're putting out. This thing is great. Of course, it's going to be useless against enemies that fly, but anything on the ground is getting shredded in seconds. I love this thing. I am having tons of fun running around and testing it out. As a quick example, one of the most annoying enemies of the game, Overload Captains. Those champions are really, really annoying, and it usually takes quite a few sword hits, even with Falling Guillotine, to take them down. Lament kills them in one combo rush. 2 light attacks, 1 heavy attack. That champion is gone in a 1250 Legend Lost Sector. Just further proving how powerful and versatile the Lament is. Really, this thing is a lot of fun and I can't wait for you guys to go and test it out yourselves. But alright Guardians, that is it for this video, and that is how you can complete this exotic quest to get your hands on the Lament exotic sword. This one is definitely worth your time. Those are my thoughts. Be sure to leave me yours down in the comment section below. How do you feel about this thing? Have you found some really fun combinations? How fast are you shredding bosses? Make sure you let me know. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to drop a like, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell to stay up to date with all the latest stuff we're putting out. But for now, as always, I am the Black Link. You Guardians, stay frosty.